My name is Isong Esther. I'm also known as Didi, and I'm honored to be your host for this important and timely conversation on volunteers' participation in university sports. I want to welcome every single one of you today to today's webinar session. I hope we're all doing very well. I hope we're all doing great. I hope our day also went well as well. So we are gathered here today to shine a spotlight on the incredible roles volunteers play in driving, university sports to a level from, organizing events to creating lasting impact and memories. Whether you are a student or you're an athlete or you're simply passionate about university sports, make sure to, send this link to your friends. It is not too late for them to join and, get from today's impactful session and also learn. In the world of university sports, volunteers are literally the heartbeats that keeps the system running, often, unsung heroes. But, we're also essential even behind the scenes. Tonight, we hear from voices who have lived it, they have led it as well. And, they continue to inspire us time after time. So I encourage you to sit back, listen, get your questions ready for them as we have a Q&A session after this. Yes. After the speakers session today, we have a lineup of two great speakers, which is Dr. Victor Ademola and Mr. Adebayo Olatunde. And I'm very sure they are with us right now. Our first speaker for today is none other than Dr. Victor Ademola. He's a sports and exercise physiologist and one of Nigeria's leading sports journalists. As a founder and face of Ademola Victor TV, he is dedicated to promoting Nigerian sports and showcasing local talents to a global audience. With over 100,000 YouTube subscribers and over 380,000 TikTok followers, and 180,000 Facebook followers, Dr. Victor has built a vibrant digital community that bridges sports science, storytelling, and fan engagement. He has covered major international events, including the Paris 2024 Olympics, and provides insightful coverage of Nigerians' national teams, both male and female. In addition to his media work, he has published numerous research papers in both local and international journals, contributing to the field of exercise physiology and sports development. Dr. Ademola Victor combines academic expertise with media influence to elevate African athletes and reshape the global perception of Nigerian sports. Please make welcome Dr. Victor Ademola as he gives his speech for his session.
Thank you so much. And it's good to be here as well. All right. So, yeah, like I said before, earlier, it's good to be here to speak to young people, about the role of volunteering in university sports, and of course, and how to, create a niche for yourself and how to also get into the space of sports, in the world. Uh, so, first off, I know most of us here understand what volunteering is. I don't know if I have to explain, but basically it's all about, I would say it plays a major role um, in the world right now, and it's also relevant for sports promotion and development. Um, Most international competitions, you need volunteers. The Olympic Games, the biggest event in the world, a lot of volunteers, participate to make it a success. The FIFA World Cup, the FIBA World Cup, you name it. They just concluded Women Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco as well. I saw a lot of volunteers, and of course they gained valuable experience, and they also made the event successful. I also like what FISU is doing in collaboration with NUGA, where young people are given the opportunity to learn about this and how to get into that space. And now they can also help contribute, to sport development in the country, and also to maybe, you know, use that to get into the line of sports going forward in the future. Generally, as volunteers, your roles are very valuable, um, from event organization to logistics to even media coverage to support for athletes and officials, to hospitality services. These are areas that you can easily get into. But the big question everybody usually asks is, how do you become a volunteer? And for people that are still struggling, they want to discover what do they gain out of this at the end of the day, either on the short term or on the long term. On the short term, they don't get any reward, any benefit from volunteering. On the long term, would they get maybe recognition as to the certification, and they can use that to get other roles in the future. So I think these are the major questions a lot of people have when you tell them about volunteering for competitions and all of that. So I would say, first off, understand your strengths and the areas you feel like you can fit in, while also knowing what you want to do in the future going forward. Um, so I was told to come here to share my experience on how I was able to get into the media space, and how I was able to get accredited and become a CAF and IOC accredited sports journalist. I call myself a sport promoter anyway, because for me, I'm always advocating for promoting local talent, our local league, and Nigerian sport especially. If you check my social media, if you check my page, even my publications, I really talk about foreign sports or foreign athletes. I only focus on Nigerian sports, our local talent, our local league, and just putting the narrative out there. Because how I got into this space was very simple. When I was starting out, I would always search, because I follow football a lot, I follow athletics a lot, I follow most of this sport a lot, and I always search online before a competition, before a major game, and I will see nothing. Imagine, let me use football for example. We are preparing for the major competition like the under 17 FIFA Men's World Cup, and it's 2 weeks to the event. Only 1 or 2 articles about that. Literally no videos, no training videos, no preview, no update about the group standings or who are likely going to play, the cities we're going to play in. And I found that gap, and I felt like, I can, bridge this gap when it comes to delivering just information. So that, of course, when there's information on ground, people are more interested, and it drives interest on the long run, and it also helps, to promote sports in the country. And I found it weird that, in the country, most people would always support a foreign team, or even foreign national teams, foreign clubs and foreign national teams. So you see a lot of Nigerians supporting Chelsea, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and a very low percentage supporting the local leagues, both on the men's and women's side in Nigeria. So, for example, in the women's side in Lagos, we have clubs like FC Robo, we have clubs like Danas Ladies. When they play games, the stadium is literally empty. You only see sport journalists there, friends of the players that are playing, and the relevant stakeholders. You will not see like that large fan awareness. You will not see a lot of fans on the stands. On the men's side, it's even better. On the men's side for the Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL), it's still better because they are trying to advertise, and they have a lot of investments, and they have a lot of interest because there's money in football. So but at the same time, online and generally the information there is really scarce, and because of that, I found myself, providing that information, bridging the gap, using the power of social media, using the power of digital media and the online space to push and promote that. And most of these things I started by volunteering. So but for me, I did not particularly volunteer to an organization. I volunteered my time, I volunteered my resources to ensure I put that online for free across social media, and I was just grinding. I was getting better. I was learning on the job, and I was improving. And with time, I grew to have a very large following. So I would say once you identify a gap in society, and you feel like you can fill that gap, that's one way to go. Another way to go would be to understand what you want to do. Going forward in the future, if you want to be maybe a media person, of course, you have to align with or volunteer with organizations that would allow you to work in that role. If you want to be into hospitality management for athletes or for officials, you also have to align yourself with that as well. You have to get the right connection. You have to do your research to understand where to apply, when to apply, and some of the requirements you might need. So for let me use Africa for example, for the National Sport Festival, or since you're using university sports, for the NUGA Games and for the FISU Games, we had calls to action where individuals were told to register their interest in volunteering. These are the things that you have to look out for. Um, be friends with, let's say, administrators or student leaders in that particular space, and always look out for information. So when something is available, you can easily apply. Aside that as well, also look out for international competitions. The FIFA. I want to use football a lot. I know FIFA, for example, CAF, for example, in Africa. Even relevant sport that you might be interested in. It could be tennis, it could be badminton, it could be swimming. They all have associations, and you can also align yourself with that. But especially when it comes to volunteering with sports, it might not be easy at first instance, but I feel like if you are dedicated enough, if you do the groundwork, like go out, go to the training centers, talk with the athletes, talk with the administrators, be consistent. With time, they'll just have to be used to your face and familiar with your face, and they will share opportunities with you. Also, follow them across social media online. Subscribe to the newsletter. Um, there you get information. You can easily apply. For example, I know somebody that applied from Nigeria for the last FIFA World Cup in Qatar, and the person got volunteering role, to travel to Qatar and volunteer. There's also one coming up. I think it's closed now already for the next World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico. There's also one that's going to be open soon for the Olympic Games in Los Angeles in 2026. So there are always opportunities. But of course, when it comes to volunteering in a foreign country, the slot is always lower for international participants. But if your country is hosting a major event, I mean, the chances are limitless. You can obviously volunteer. And that experience adds up going forward. And you can use that experience to get better roles in volunteering or even in getting the main job at the end of the day. Because a volunteering experience can serve as your working experience too. And you already know what to do. You understand the problems better. You are fast and you're effective in delivering, some of the tasks and the go. I hope I'm not rambling, but I'm just speaking off uh, my head what I think about volunteer participation in university sports. Your roles, trust me, very important and relevant in today's world. Um, and once you understand what you want to do, once you understand where you fit in, and you understand maybe the sports that you want to get yourself involved in, or even the association like NUGA and FISU, you align yourself with the administrators and the students and leaders, and also follow them across the social media platforms. Subscribe to the newsletter, the WhatsApp community, every single place you can, so that you don't miss updates. And always be consistent. Be on the ground. Do the groundwork. Go out. Go to trainings. If you're interested in particular sports, you can network that way. And of course, when the opportunities come out, you can apply and you can use that to gain experience that will be useful in the future going forward if that's what you find you want to do. So yeah, that's just a quick summary. I was just giving 15 minutes to talk. And yeah, I hope I've been able to speak from the heart uh, on this topic. So if you have questions, of course, I'm open to questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I really appreciate that. Yes, you definitely spoke from your heart. And a few of the points that you made was that we need to understand our strengths while going into any role in volunteering. Do your research, take up opportunities as well. Please, you guys, also know that there will be a Q&A session later on. So please, you can write your questions down so you do not forget. Yes. Our next speaker for the day is for tonight rather is Mr. Adebayo Olatunde. He's a dedicated sports Mr. Adebayo Olatunde is a dedicated sports professional with a strong background in university sports development and in volunteer coordination. He holds a degree in human kinetics from the University of Lagos, where his passion for sports leadership took root. From 2020 to 2023, he served as a student ambassador for the International University Sports Federation FISU, actively promoting student engagement in university sports initiative. In 2022, he was a key member of the ceremonial committee for the Nigerian University Games Association (NUGA), hosted by the University of Lagos. There, he was responsible for recruiting, managing, and training over 1,000 volunteers, contributing significantly to the success of the event. His leadership continued on a continental level in 2024, where he was appointed chair of the volunteer subcommittee for the FASU Games. Currently, he serves as a member of the FISU Education and Student Committee, where he plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of global university sports. His responsibilities include supporting the development of educational initiatives, student engagement programs, and fostering international collaboration among national and continental university sports federations. Please make welcome Mr. Adebayo Olatunde.
Thank you very much, Esther. I hope I'm clear or audible enough for everyone.
Yes, you are.
All right. Um, First of all, I appreciate the invites, and I think Dr. Victor's lecture. I think I'll call it a lecture, maybe because I'm used to getting lectures from Dr. Victor. So I really appreciate it because it said quite a number of important things that I feel that every single person listening should take note of because they're very integral if you are interested in volunteering in university sports. So, without further much ado, I will just start with what I want to say. It's not a lot, but I'll try as much as possible to effectively use my time and then um, provide responses to any questions that you may have. So, the first thing I need to say is this, and is that when it comes to volunteering, it is very integral to administration. And the reason why it is integral is because sport is largely underfunded. So when you look at developed countries in the world, there is a value that is attached to sports. They understand that sport can do a lot of things. Sport can bring forth a number of utilities. Therefore, they promote sports. There is an active community in sport promotion in developed countries because they know what they are getting from it. But in developing countries like Nigeria, for instance, you don't find that level of value ascribed towards sports here. And that is why it's very important for us to have volunteers. All right. Even in developed countries, we also need volunteers because you need them to cover up some gaps. It is impossible for you to be able to pay everyone for their role in a game because when it comes to organizing a game, it is very complex. A lot of people don't understand what it takes to either host a game or organize a sporting event like the Olympics or even something as small as a department game. Like people really do not understand how complex it is. And that is why, regardless of the the mass of the game, you just need to have volunteers because there will be something that you miss. There'll be something that you probably could not account for, and you need certain individuals to fill in that gap. And that is what voluntary does, right? So for developed countries or for very big games, you need volunteers. You need them in various spaces, like media, like logistics, the medical side, quite a number of different areas that you certainly need volunteers for. But in developing countries, they are even more vital, very, very crucial. And because I have been involved in quite a number of games or the organization of games, I've seen how crucial these individuals are to the success of games. I can assure you that there is no way you are able to organize a game without having volunteers. Like you definitely need volunteers. You cannot pay everybody. And there are some impacts that volunteers do to a game that you simply cannot even pay for it because you cannot begin to quantify the impact of these individuals' contribution to that game. These are some things that are unquantifiable. So for those individuals, how do you then pay them? How do you sort of appreciate them for their work? Like it's really difficult. And that's why volunteers are very crucial for games. Now, another thing I need to say is that volunteering in unit sports is beyond just the event itself. A lot of people think that when it comes to volunteering, or when it's about when the game starts and then you have volunteers do or not one or two things. The truth is, that is not exactly how it goes because there is the pre-game part of it, and there's also the post-game part of volunteering. In the pre-game part, people are organizing things, people are setting timelines, people are ensuring that individuals are able to get to maybe the host country or the host city. There are things like visa regulations. There's so many things that volunteers do even before the game starts itself. So it is beyond managing the game as it happens. It's also sort of the activities that happen before the game. And that is why, as individuals that are interested in volunteering in university sports, you need to be able to find places where there are gaps that you can fill. Like you need to be proactive enough to say, oh, I think there's a gap here. and I need to feel this thing. And a very good example is my life, right? Uh, when it comes to volunteering, I've been volunteering for games since I was in year one in University of Lagos. Like, I don't think there is a game that happened in the Department of Human Kinetics or in the Faculty of Education that wasn't involved in, like, directly. There's always something, there's always going to be an advice, there's always some sort of contribution that I made. And it was my role as a volunteer in these games that sort of gave me the landing that I currently have, or the platform that I currently have. Because it was from there I moved into FISU, became ambassador. From the ambassador stage, became a member of FISU committee directly. All of this started from volunteering in my local games. Like, you don't necessarily have to start from a very big game like the Olympics or maybe a championship. You can start from your departmental game, because if you don't volunteer locally, like, trying to volunteer internationally is even way harder, right? Because there are complexities to volunteering for international games because of the different barriers that might exist. So you have to start small. You have to look at what you can do in your immediate class, then in your immediate department, then your immediate faculty, before you start thinking about the school, before you start thinking about state level. So that is where you start. So when you develop that sort of, what I call it, a habit of volunteering in different games, it helps you a lot. I know somebody that his major role when it comes to volunteering in sport game is the role of an interpreter. He started from the University of Ghana, then moved on from there, was doing national games there in Ghana before he started doing FASU games. And now he's been invited for things like the IOC and all of that, interpreting French to English or English to French. So that is how you start. Like, you really have to start small. So you not think of yourself too big to volunteer in games around you, because if you are too big, trust me, nobody's going to, because for you to even get international volunteer roles, they need to at least see your experience. It's not just about your passion or your interest. They need to see that, okay, you understand the rigors of volunteering, because volunteering is not easy. It's almost a thankless job. And I'll give a very good example with NUGA Games. I remember during the NUGA Games, uh, we were not expected, because there were certain things we did not know we were going to do. So I was the one managing the volunteers. We already had plans for each of the volunteer units. But then the medical subcommittee needed more volunteers to help with COVID testing and the likes. Because before they moved them to the main hostel, they had to test them, take them to a place they will stay for a while before they moved them to the main hostel. So they didn't have enough hands to handle that. So what happened was that we had volunteer leaders that had to, like, stay overnight. This was something that they did not prepare for. Stay overnight to be able to manage that entire procedure. It was really, really disturbing. Multiple instances like that where you're not expecting some things, but then it happens and you need to fill in the gap. All right. So that is why, as a volunteer, you need to be prepared for anything. You need to be prepared for, like, it's not a job where you bring in your pride or you bring in your ego and you're trying to boss people around or let people know who you are. Like, no, because you are ready. In fact, as a volunteer, you must be ready to get your hands dirty. When I mean dirty, I'm not saying you're going to do something. I'm saying you have to, like, really, really work. And that is very crucial. But most importantly, one thing I would like to say about volunteering is that it sort of shows you the sort of person you are. And I'm going to explain this, right? You probably will not know what you can do or what you're capable of until you volunteer. Like, right now, some of you might have a very good self-awareness where you know a bit about yourself. But the place where you do know more or discover some things you don't know is when you're volunteering or when you're under some sort of intense pressure. Like, if someone that told me that, I was going to manage 1,000 volunteers in 2022, I'll tell you that that's not possible, because even though I was a class rep, I was only managing 180 students, and that alone was hell. So now having to manage 1,000 volunteers, that is a different ball game entirely. So I wouldn't have known that if I didn't volunteer myself. All right. And I wouldn't have gotten that position as well if I wasn't open to helping out in any manner or in any way I could. And I will explain this, right? So any person could have been a volunteer for NUGA Games. They could have maybe given it to a professor or a lecturer in the University of Lagos and whatnot. But I already had the precedence of managing things, leading things, and volunteering in different roles. So even though there was a volunteer head, the volunteer head simply just called me and said, "Oh, Bayo, you that handle this entire thing, just get it done." And that was what happened, right? So people trust you when they see what you're capable of. The only way you can know what you are capable of and how they can know what you are capable of is when you volunteer. So when you get those opportunities and you do them well, you get more opportunities. And the more opportunities you get, the more chances you have to sort of discover yourself and what you can do. And then you keep on growing that way. All right. Esther, for instance, is the host for this meeting or session. If Esther doesn't volunteer herself to do this, she probably won't know that, oh, she could be a great host, right? And she also doesn't know where she's going to be in the next few years. You get, so that is how it happens. And that's why I always advocate for people to volunteer. Beyond what you do for the game, you do a lot for yourself. And that is, for me, the beauty of volunteering in university sport. So I think that's like basically it. Dr. Victor has said a lot about how you can volunteer. There's always opportunities, and it's even beyond sport, right? There's so many facets of it. Volunteer. If you have the opportunity, always volunteer. You will see announcements here and there. You will see call for volunteers. Sometimes they might never call for volunteers, but once you see a gap, you can write a mail to maybe whoever is in charge and say, "Oh, I can do this for you. I can help you get this done." And that is how it happens. Before you know it, people consider it to be reliable or dependable, and you're getting opportunities. So you now then move beyond being a volunteer to getting paid roles. And that is basically the journey of any individual that's interested in volunteering. You won't volunteer for life. At a point in time, you're making a lot of money from something that you're doing for free. And that is the beauty of it all. So yeah, that's a short lecture that I have to present. I hope you all understand, and in some ways you've learned one or two. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adebayo Olatunde. Thank you so much. Like from what you said, you spoke to us about us looking within, start from within, and you grow from there. So thank you so much. And thank you for talking about us as well. Yes, volunteering is very, very important, and it has led me this far. Okay, right now we are in our Q&A session. Please, if you have questions, make sure to signify by raising up your hands, and and you can unmute yourself once I call your name, and then you direct your question to whoever you're asking them to. So please, if you have questions, please kindly raise up your hands. Yeah. Who has questions? Questions, questions, questions. Okay, Miriam Itsunu, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah, thank you. Miriam.
Um,
Okay, yeah.
yes, can everyone get me?
Yes, I can hear
Can
you.
everyone get me?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can
okay.
hear you.
Um, I have a question for Adebayo. What are some of the challenges that you face as a volunteer?
Okay, some of the challenges. I believe my major challenge, that is a very funny one, it is dealing with adults. That is my major challenge. And I'll explain why I said it is dealing with adults. So, Africa is a very um, is a conservative culture. There's a lot of respect and all of that. So you, as a young person, you deal with a lot of people that believe they know more than you. In some instances, they do know more than you. But in some instances, they also stifle your growth. They always want to be at the center of everything without allowing you, you know, like do your thing or even make your mistake. They are always so controlling. So I remember a first number of time, NUGA games, because in NUGA game, I had people that knew me personally and knew that I could get the job done. But there were a lot more people that didn't know me personally. So they were skeptical about a young person managing lots of people, some sort of unfair criticism and all of that. So it was a lot of challenge. But the thing is this, if you are good at what you do, you just need to be able to look beyond the critics and then just get the job done. Ensure that you have great people around you that you can trust as well. Because I wasn't the only one managing volunteers. I had like my team of guys that were assisting me. one way or the other. And that's what helps me. So even though I had a lot of challenges, at the end of the day, the same people that did not trust me to handle some things were commending me at the end of the games. Oh, you did well. You saw the volunteers and all of that. So yeah, has always been that issue. Even till now, that I've grown and I'm much more recognized internationally, you still deal with some of these things. So, but beyond that, I think another challenge is working with people that don't know what they are doing. And you see that a lot in sport. The thing is this, people think that sport is something that you can just bring just any person and they know what they're doing. No, it's not. Like sports is as technical as some of the most complex things that you know or you've heard about. So when certain individuals, maybe because they are professors or because they are one thing or the other, when they feel that, oh, they can, because they are older, they can do this, it's not always true. And in most instances, you have to deal with people that don't know what they're doing or what they're saying and somehow make it work. So ego is a very huge problem in the university sports system. Whether it is in local games or continental games, you have to deal with all of these things. But as a young person, of course, you always have to be respectful. But then nobody argues with results. If you are able to give that result despite all of those things, I mean, you at the end of the day will be respected. And that was what helped me. So 2022, I was a member of a committee, then I was made the head of volunteers. But then in 2024, I was now made the chair of a committee because people saw what I did. So yeah, there'll be challenges, but you can always surmount them if you just, lock in and just get the job done. So yeah. Hope I answered the question, Miriam.
Thank you very much for answering.
All right, welcome. So Esther, back to you. Any other question?
Yes. Any other questions, please? Okay, we have Olabisi. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me, please?
We can hear you, Olabisi. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much to our speaker. So I have my question. I don't think I'll direct it to anyone in particular, but I want to hear your opinion and thoughts on how we can foster a culture of volunteering on our campuses, considering the fact that volunteering most times does not come with monetary benefits. So, from my experience so far at my university, majorly, students are reluctant to volunteer because they do so much, and in return they get not as they expect in terms of the compensation. So, despite this challenge, what advice from your own experience would you give to someone like me who's trying to build a culture of volunteering on campus? Thank you.
Dr. Victor, would you like to take this or I should go first? What did you say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, that's perfect. So when it comes to volunteering, I can understand that sometimes after the event, most volunteers feel like they're putting all this effort and they're getting nothing in return. They feel underappreciated and they feel left out. They feel just ignored at the end of the day. And that's because sometimes when organizing competitions, organizers sometimes don't plan for volunteers, especially when it comes to, very small competitions. And that's one major mistake they are making. And that's also killing the volunteering space. So let me use big competitions for example. For example, at the Olympic Games, volunteers have special events. They have special packages for them. If they get maybe brands that sponsor the competition, they also get some of these items for the volunteers. They have dinner parties for volunteers. At events at venues, they have a special room for volunteers where they can have breakfast, they can have lunch, they can have snacks and drinks. So these little things might not it doesn't feel like a lot, but it makes them feel seen. And that's what I feel like should be done once planning for competitions. Also protect for volunteers. Maybe not to pay them directly, but to make them feel seen. Like also they do now. If the university game, for example, maybe having a special dinner for them, maybe with the DC or some dignitaries or some top athletes. Maybe having a room for them or provision for them to have proper lunch and proper dinner. Maybe giving them gifts as well. Those are the things that will make them feel seen. And that could also increase the volunteering spirit, in our colleges and our campuses across the world. Of course, nobody is expecting to cash out to volunteering in quote or make a lot of money to volunteer. But at the same time, you get valuable experiences. If possible, you get certificates of volunteering. All those little things count. It's just finding the right thing that you can offer to volunteers, aside just that monetary benefit that will make them feel seen and appreciate, the work that they have done, they put in so far. So that's just a little recommendation that I have.
Thank you. I think I'd like to add a thing or two as well. So Dr. Victor talked about the sort of compensation or sort of things you do, like certificates, ensuring that at least they're accommodated. That is for like big games. Ensuring that at least get something maybe to drink or to eat. Like all of that works. So the answer I will give will be more about something really small, like in terms of maybe very little game. Because your question, as I understood it, was about promoting volunteer culture. What I'll say is that as an individual, you must also show that you are a volunteer. And I need to explain this. Don't go about believing that, okay, people would volunteer for things that you are organizing simply because you invited them to volunteer. You must also be a volunteer. Now, one of the things that helped me to get a lot of people to volunteer at stuff that I organize or stuff that I'm involved in was because I have volunteered for things that concern them without any sort of reward. I'm talking about things like I remember a friend of mine, she was going to do a breast cancer awareness project. She needed help with a lot of things, and I did it for her, like for free. All right. That kind of a person, if I say, oh, I need you to help me do this or that, of course, I'm going to get her to be involved. Like, you must be the person to, first of all, show that volunteer spirit, to be there when somebody needs you. When you do that, people will always do it in return. NUGA Games, for instance, there were a lot of things that we couldn't do for volunteers. Like, even the bare minimums, there were things that we could not ensure that those things were given to them. But a lot of people stayed despite those things because of my relationship with them or the relationship I have with people that know them. So I remember quite a number of issues between maybe officials and volunteers. And I remember telling one of my friends that, look, I need you to calm down. Like, I'm the one involved in this thing. This thing blows up beyond proportion. I'll be criticized for it. So I need you, even though you are the one that is affected by this, I need you to just, for my sake, just calm down. And he did that, right? And that's because of the relationship and sort of person that I was. So you must be the person that started that volunteer spirit. Somebody is doing something, you are there, you are promoting their flyer, you are posting, you are helping them carry stuff. Like even during the games, I remember a time during FISU game, I was carrying the blocks that was on the track. And I remember somebody was telling me, oh, why you don't carry the track, the starters, like let volunteers do. And I said, I'm not going to tell a volunteer to do something that I cannot do or I will not do. But if volunteers see me doing this, even though it's not the best condition, they will also do it as well. So you must be at the forefront of showing what volunteering is. When you do that, people see it and people will also, sort of imbibe that character and then it grows. That is basically how I've been able to get, like, I don't think I have done anything on campus during my stay in University of Lagos that I did not have people supporting from my classmates. Like if I need something, I'll tell my classmates, oh, I'm doing this, can you guys come around? The International Diversity Sports event I organized in 2021, I told my classmates about it. They came around, about 30 of them, we did what we were going to do. And that was it. When I needed a place to sort of do a sport event, a football event, I got that from a friend of mine as well. Like people who are willing to do for you if you are going to do for them. So it starts from you. When you show that spirit, that volunteer spirit, people will also reciprocate. But it definitely starts from you. And that's my advice. Esther, are you still on the call?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll call hands in 30 minutes, but we need to listen. We need to hear from the NUGA. We need to hear from the NUGA admin officer. Please, the floor is yours. You can now speak. No more questions, guys. Time is running. Yeah.
So, thank you so much for being a part of this. What she wanted to inform us about is just for us to become FISU Student Ambassador, or maybe I need to just introduce myself. I'm Olasubomi Ogundele, the FISU Student Ambassador and the facilitator of this online webinar we are currently doing. So usually by September, there are usually new intakes for student ambassadors, and is at that point, or should I say that stage, whereby new members, a lot of people have reached out. How can I become an ambassador? How can I be a part of this? But right now, the registration is it just started today. So the group chat we are on, there's a group chat created. I'm sure majority of us are on it. The link will be shared there. So anyone who is interested, or if you know anybody that is interested in being a part of it, kindly send the link to them. And also there are a lot of benefits that comes with it. Speaking from like experience, it helps with leadership development. It's even international exposure, because you get to meet people from different countries. You get to network, and even it's benefit other. You get to mentor others. You get to come up with ideas that can, like, one of these is an idea, like a personal idea of mine. You get to do stuff like that. And lastly, you get to even build your CV. That's I'm sure that's what majority of us are working towards. According to the team, volunteer participation comes with a lot of certificates and just to be a better person. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out or check the group chats for the link. And thanks so very much, everyone. Thank you so much. I would hand over to Didi.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Our call ends in 9 minutes. Some people have questions. I don't know if we can still take questions. Shibomi, can we still take questions? Shibomi, can we still take questions? Or we just end it right now? And people can ask
No,
their
we can
question.
take one more question.
Okay, one more question. All right.
Yeah.
What's Najan, you can ask your question. Najan, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah.
Hi, good evening. Hi, Didi. Hi, Mr. Bayo. So my question is about volunteering for NUGA. There's been no information about that. So I want to know if there's gonna be anything about that soon.
Yes, ma.
Okay.
The information will be shared across very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Abdulsalam, you can also unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Thank you. Okay, Samad, sorry. Please unmute and ask your
No
question.
problem. Actually, I was already typing. My question is not really a question. It's like it's like an addition to what Dr. Victor and Mr. Adebayo have said, and it's on an individual level for people who are looking to volunteer. When you volunteer, don't think about the money you get from volunteering or the compensation you get from it. Think about it like it's something you are doing for someone who can never repay you. When you do it that way, whether they pay you or they appreciate you with compensation or anything, it shouldn't move you. What you should think about is the experience you are getting from it, the people you are meeting, the kind of connection you are making. That you are building your own social wealth that way, and you never know when that would come in handy. And like they've said, it goes on your work experience as well. So don't think about what you get from it. Most times you use your own money to transport yourself to wherever you would volunteer, and still not get anything in return, it would pay off. And I'm talking from experience. I did 2 years volunteering for free in a school, and at the end of the day, I used that experience to apply for a fellowship for my PhD. So you don't know when it will like come in handy. Just do it for free, like you are doing something for someone who can never repay you. That's just my addition to what they said.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our call ends in 6 minutes. I want to say thank you to our speakers, Dr. Victor, Mr. Bayo. Thank you, Shubumi, for these opportunities. Thank you to our future volunteers. I hope to see everybody in Jos, for the upcoming NUGA games. And make sure you stay glued on the WhatsApp group. Links will be shared there, just as what Shubomi said as well, for the Student Ambassador program for FISU. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much. My name is Isongesta. You can also call me Didi. And I'll see you guys some other time. Good night. Thank you guys and bye.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Adebayo. Thank you, Dr. Victor.